Good afternoon. Welcome to the Ada-Borup-West High School Auditorium, and welcome to the 2023 Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I know some of you have traveled several states to be here. We appreciate that. And it is so good to look out and to see familiar faces, memories, and there will be more stories throughout the day. I also encourage you, after the ceremony is completed today, to hang around for a little while, as much time as you have. There's free refreshments being served out in the commons area. That's also a chance to socialize and visit and maybe reminisce a bit more. So great to see so many faces again that I've had the honor and privilege to work with throughout the Ada-Borup-West area throughout my career. So thanks again for being here, and as your MC, it's an honor to be the MC again today for this third class of the Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame. I do want to recognize the Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame committee members who put in a tremendous amount of time, effort, and to take this very seriously with the nominations that come. Special K, Kenley Wallin, the Ada-Borup-West Activities Director, for his leadership and guidance. Also with members Eric Smart, if you'd please just maybe raise your hand or stand up, whatever you're most comfortable with. Ruth Hayden, myself, Dave Smart, Bob Johnson, Dallas Benish, Mike Egan Sr., and Ross Fund. Hopefully I remembered everybody. Thank you. Also, today's induction ceremony into the Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame is being streamed live at yourliveevent.com, and I share that with you so that it'll be there for you and your family and anyone else that wants to see it for the remainder, as long as YouTube stays alive. So it'll be there. It's archived after today's program, so enjoy that. And again, the memories that do come back, the stories to share, the moments of pride, and of course, our congratulations to all who are entering into the Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame class of 2023. We'll begin with today's ceremony, and we will welcome to the stage to help with the presentation of the plaque to our first inductee, Irwin N. Cactus Warner. I'd like to welcome Paul Walswick, longtime teacher at Norman County West, and also my memories of Paul is with his association with the athletic programs. One of the best stats person that I've ever been around, and took it very seriously, detailed for the coaches and for the athletes, and he's here today to help present the plaque and the award and the induction into the Hall of Fame for Irwin N. Cactus Warner. And I welcome to the stage the daughter of Cactus, Brianna. Please come forward.
My name is Brianna Watson, and I'm accepting this tremendous award being given to my father, Cactus Warner, on behalf of my brother, Nathan Warner, sister, Annette Warner, and our family and friends. If you knew Cactus at all, you know he would be thanking all of his players for this award. Our dad truly loved his basketball players. He not only taught them to play the game, but more importantly, he gave them life lessons to help make them productive citizens after they finished playing the game for him. Our dad was humble about all of his accomplishments. It wasn't until my husband, Daryl, and I started researching his basketball accomplishments to help Jeremy submit him for this honor that I found out he once scored 84 points in an exhibition game in Halstead. His team score was 150 points. I never did hear this story from him. Our dad believed that people recognize your accomplishments without you having to tell them. Even though our dad was quiet about his accomplishments, he was a very competitive man. He was one who would trip, elbow, or use psychological trash talk to win a race or a game against even his own grandchildren. If you ever had the chance to golf with him, you would have seen a very violent swing. Once on the tee box in Mesquite, he swung so hard that he fell to the ground. As he looked up at the 3 other people playing with him, all he said was, "I bet I outdrove all of you." In closing, I would like to thank all of you that played for our father, Cactus, and those of you who supported him. This award goes out to all of you. Just know he cared for you all. He is proud of you for being successful in life. Jeremy Melting, would you please come forward? Nathan, Annette, and I believe that this award should go to you and stay with you in Halstead. We want to thank you for keeping Coach Cactus's memory alive.
Thank you. Thank you, Brianna, and to Jeremy, and to the family of Cactus Warner. When I see Jeremy here, I just do want to share this, and I hope it's appropriate. 3 things that come to my mind from when I was able to work with Cactus. I knew Cactus prior to me moving over to Ada, but I got to know him a little bit better through the years. One thing that stands out to me is, you mentioned his competitive nature and his ways of, he was going to win. There was a night on a pregame, we were in a locker room, and I won't disclose the school that we were at, and everybody knew who was going to win the game. That was just a matter of what the score was going to be. So I, as a young guy, made the comment to him off air. I said, "Well, what's this going to be like tonight, and how much?" He said, "What number do you want it to be?" And I said, "It's not my choice." He said, "It'll be under 18, because I'll make sure it's under 18. It'll be closer than people think." And it was. Ended up at 17. My other memory of Cactus is, he's one of the greatest coaches I've ever worked with in the game of basketball. What he taught kids, and what he taught me as a broadcaster. So, just fantastic memories, and I wanted to share that with the family, so thank you. Please welcome into the class of 2023 Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame to the stage, Snookie Drexel.
I can't believe this. One thing I will do, and that is make it short, although I could go on for hours telling stories about the girls in the 12 years that we were here in Ada. And of course, being from Twin Valley originally, there was always this rivalry between Ada and Twin Valley. And it goes back many, many years. and it was never forgotten. And I never, ever thought I would be living in Ada, and to think it would be 12 years at that. But, you know, they were wonderful years. I loved the kids. It always seemed that the girls that I would meet through Luther League and observing them at different games and so on, that there was always something special about them. And I still feel this way. There's something about Ada kids that will always be good. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the new inductees, and also a special thank you to Mr. Walleen, although it's a few years ago since I had seen him. Also, my family is here. John, who was just going into kindergarten when we left here. And then I have Chris, who is, well, John lives in Texas. Chris lives in Washington, D.C., and then it's my granddaughter and grandson, and their spouses. Let's see, where should I start? There's so many things to tell. I really don't, and some of you I don't think would appreciate it if I did tell them. But you know, we had so much fun. And when we, Gail sitting up here in front, she laughs because she was part of that fun. I don't really think I was told what I was going to, oh yes, we can't forget this. No, I am not responsible for the red gym suits that the kids had. And we had them for years, and then they were supposed to wash them. These came, this is from Barnesville, but I can't imagine what happened to all these red gym suits. They probably had a burning at the stake or something, because we couldn't find any. And, but I was not responsible for those. We had physical fitness tests in Phi Ed classes, and they would say, oh, Mrs. Drexel flunked me. I didn't flunk you. There were standards that were set up, and these standards were nationwide. And so if you didn't pass something, but you know what? It was also a test for me, because I made out a card for every single student, kept it for 4 years, and had a fall and spring record of what they had done. And I'd look over these and I'd think, if they didn't do better in the spring, something was wrong with my teaching. So it was kind of an evaluation for me as well, to better check over the way I was teaching this class. We had GAA, which was a misnomer. It really should have been GRA. I think we started out with probably about 8, 9 girls, no place, no room, nothing. By the time we left, and by the time we had tournaments, mini tournaments, just we would scrimmage probably between teams, but there were 151 girls. And we did have fun. We had I see some of them nodding their heads. I think we did things that probably the kids wouldn't be able to do right now. We would have Sadie Hawkins dances. We had, let's see, Sadie Hawkins, what?
Hay rides.
Oh, hay rides. Yes, we had hay rides, and sometimes we would go as far as Twin Valley on these hay rides, and it would be midnight before we got home. And also we would have bonfires when we had these, and these were big bonfires, not little ones, but big ones that we had hot dogs and s'mores and so on. And we did, it was sometimes that came late. The Sadie Hawkins dances were always fun. We had them in the elementary school, and it would be a mess, and I really did feel sorry for the janitors. But the kids were also very willing to clean up afterwards. Okay, then I'm trying to think. I didn't write anything down. So I'm trying to think of, and then when we went to the state tournaments, and Gail Crogston, so
You sat in the front row.
and there were some other girls, but we had fun there, but we were also very strict with the kids. I took them to a cheerleading camp, and it was driving down to Mankato and driving back again. They cheered all the way back from Mankato. And I'm trying to...
Be short, remember?
Hmm?
Be short, remember?
Yeah. Do you know what he's telling me? Be short. But one thing I have to mention about the basketball tournaments, when we went down there, we had uniforms that were definitely quite different from what was customary. And Ross, I meant to talk to you first, and I hope that you wouldn't mind, but I can remember that he had made some comments in his paper about these uniforms. They were white, and then they had a lovely sherbet colored sweater inside. No, it wasn't. It was his dad, but I wanted to talk to him and tell him that I was going to say something about his dad. And do you know what his dad said? They looked like man's underwear. And you know, my first reaction was, man, they must have funny looking underwear. But they made the society page in the Minneapolis Sunday Tribune. And let's see, what else was there?
I was a kindergartner.
But we really did have, and the 151 kids that we had afterwards. Oh, and we had some meets and so on, but it wasn't competition as you. And the ones that were paid were only the coaches. I was not a coach. So guess what? But I had fun. I would not trade the memories that I was able to have here at Ada all 12 years. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Snookie Drexel. Next, please welcome to the stage for the Hall of Fame induction to the Ada-Borup-West class of 2023, Ann Rasmusson.
Thank you. I'll adjust this for my height. Thank you to the committee, fellow inductees, family members, friends, community members. Thank you. Thank you for this great honor. The reason for my induction into the Hall of Fame is a little bit hard for me to articulate. I can't point to one capstone achievement. I can't look back on decades of teaching or coaching. You can hear in my interview and you can read about the things that I have done, but it's more of a collection of things, education and career-wise, that I've done over the years. I've been reflecting on this a lot since I heard from the committee and I knew this event was coming. And as I thought about my time here and the things that I've done, I kept returning to two core concepts. Two things just kept coming back to me, and that was opportunity and support. And these are ideas I just want to touch with you on briefly today because it tells a story about you and it tells a story about this community. I loved high school. Not every moment. Nobody loves every moment of high school. But looking back, my high school years here were a gift. Like others, it was a time for me of exploration, trying activities, trying to understand myself, who I am, what I wanted to do. I'm incredibly grateful to my parents. They let me try everything, and I mean it, everything. I was interested in any activity or chance to be around people, and my parents supported me in doing whatever I wanted. I grew up in the country, and so participation was no joke. Coordinating the drive to town for my activities around their work schedules, 2 other children, their activities, their own community obligations, making dinner, doing laundry, all without cell phones. That was a commitment from them. And they were a huge support to me. And this was a proposition, I only understood the difficulties of all of this after I grew up and had my own kids and would try to navigate that myself. The time that I was growing up here, the school district had a robust offering of academics, fine arts, athletics. At times there were a natural tension between groups. I mean, there's only so much time and only so much money. But nonetheless, a wide variety of options were offered to students, and I'll tell you what, I took full advantage of the opportunities that were given to me. To live in a community where activities of all sorts are not only offered to students, but supported and encouraged, to give those students a chance to grow and to develop important life skills is a treasure. I could make it to knowledgeable practice on Wednesday mornings because speech practice was held on Monday and Tuesday mornings, and I could go to both band and choir because they were set at different times during the day, and I could make it to play practice because my boss and coworkers were flexible around extracurricular activities because they knew how important they were. There was funding for all kinds of groups, and adults encouraged students to juggle between all of their activities, and that's what I did. This community gave me a gift of growing up in a small town that invested in their kids, and this is a gift that has impacted me my entire life. My collegiate experience, my adult life were all continuations of what I was allowed to do in high school. When I went to college, I tried everything. Why not? That's what I did in high school. Worked out just fine. The mindset for me of looking for and taking opportunities led me to law school, to graduate school, I could juggle raising a family with my community activities, with my career, and led me to becoming a district court judge. And it still impacts me every day. The opportunity and support offered to me here when I was young has served as a blueprint for my life at every stage and continues to today. Now, life is interesting, right? Many of you have known me for decades. I'm kind of a bookworm, okay? And to this day, I love to study, get out my highlighter. I like learning things. While I could comfortably speak in front of groups of people, I struggled with controlling a basketball, okay? I couldn't do it. It was a shock to me when it became evident that my husband and I were raising athletes. Oh, gosh. We encouraged them to try all different types of activities, and they eventually settled into football, soccer, basketball, hockey, baseball. And this was a big adjustment for me without having that sports background. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about them, about sports, and about the common benefits that can be found between fine arts and athletics. Sports draw a lot of attention, and they are important to personal development. I've seen that in my own kids. But not everybody has the desire or ability to participate in sports. And this community recognized that important experiences and important lessons are found in a wide variety and array of environments. The lessons learned from dedicating hours to practice, from working in a small group toward a collective goal, the highs found in success, the tough lessons that are learned from struggles and loss, those are lessons learned in a variety of places. The pressures found on the stage, behind a podium, in a performance, are like the pressures that you find on the field, on the track, and on the court. While not everyone has the physical ability to be an athlete, I didn't. Everyone can find an activity that will match their interests, an activity that will push their limits and will make them grow if the opportunity is given to them. That is what this community offered to me, offered opportunity and support. As I reflect on my time here, my best memories honestly are about the people. No surprise to you when you hear me talk. A benefit of receiving this honor is that I have a chance to say thank you to those that have impacted my life. To my family, again, so thankful for my parents, for the freedom and support that they offered. To my sisters who were so annoying in high school, but are so delightful now that they've grown up. To my husband, who continues to support and encourage me in my crazy schedule and activities that we participate in. To my boys, who have taught me endless lessons of understanding, and who have turned me into an absolute sports fanatic whenever they hit the court or run onto the field or take the ice. Thank you. To the class of 92 and surrounding years. Now, I graduated in a class of 52 people, most of who had been my classmates since kindergarten. Reflecting on high school brought back just waves of memories of our collective experience. During that time, many lessons are learned about people, about friendships, about relationships. I might not talk to all of them frequently, but that shared history is at our core, and your friendships are a continued blessing. To my teachers, directors, coaches, and for those of you that do this work today, thank you. Thank you. You give your time, your knowledge, Lord knows your patience, your support to guiding, educating, and developing students, all while you raise your own kids and live your own life. As an adult and as a parent, I see much more clearly the impact that you have on children in the moment and over their lifetime. Your efforts are vital. They're so important. And that your investment can last a lifetime, and they have for me. To this community, Remember that the time that you spend talking to a student, encouraging an athlete, going to a concert, going to a play, attending a sporting event, the money that you donate to the band trip, the booster club, the wrapping paper, plants, fruits, all the stuff you buy, all of that encouragement is an investment in individual students, and it's an investment in your own community. As I start my second decade of public service, I am so mindful of this community and the gifts you have given. As I walk up the sidewalk to the courthouse, I think of you, what you have given to me, and what I hope to return to you. Keep offering your students the opportunities in academics, in fine arts, and athletics. Keep encouraging children to become involved in as many activities as possible and support them however you can in their endeavors. This, more than anything, is an investment in your community and in the future. Thank you. Thank you for this honor. It is one that I share with you with great gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann Rasmusson. Please welcome next person to be inducted into the Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame. Please come forward. It looks like you're in the starter blocks again. Terry Babler.
Well, I'm going to start this off bad. I wrote this in pencil. I can barely see it in here, but I'm going to shoot from the hip. Quick notes. I want to thank the committee for the nomination. Al Olson brought my name up last year. Al is an instructor and a coach out in Valley City, where I went to school, college. Played 4 years of ball, ran 2 years of track. Bob Johnson, I heard his name come up for this year's nomination, and I appreciate it, and I'm very humbled to be up here with all of you folks, the 3 teams that are here being inducted into this Hall of Fame, and the individuals also. My family is here, my mom and dad, my daughter Bobby, my son Chris, Scott, the Herringer crew. There's not a whole lot of Bablers left around the country, but hopefully we can try and make it stronger and put out some more athletes. But all through high school, grew up in Borup. There was a few rivalries up here in Ada. Was visiting with Chuck Ribke last night a little bit, and I found out how bad he really hates me. So, but anyways, I think we worked it out. I think I put a few people. I didn't try to put them down. It was my coach Barsness that did that. He kind of rubbed that off on me. Said that when we went down to the state tournament track meet down in St. Cloud my junior year, I ran back-to-back races on the 440 and the 330 intermediates all season long my junior year, and I ran the highs. As the season went on, the races got closer and closer and closer and closer for break in between races. Got down to the state tournament and finished the 400 or 440-yard dash and walked right straight from the finish line right across the infield right over to the blocks, and got in the blocks, and we took off. I think I had maybe 1.5, 2 minutes rest. Took off, got going, hit the first 2 hurdles, come around the corner, and just exactly what Chuck talked about last night, there goes 7 athletes flying right by me. I'm in last place. Come down the straightaway, and I'm 2 hurdles behind everybody else. I get a standing ovation. I was like, cool, I'm last and I get a standing ovation. That's pretty neat. But anyways, I got to the finish line and Coach Barsness met me there. And I was bent over because I was tired and exhausted. And he walks up to me and he puts his arm around me and he says, Terry, he said, I think we need to change something for next year. I said, yes, indeed, Coach. He goes, we're going to move you from the 440 to the 220. And he said, next year when we're going to come down here in the 330s, we're going to kick everybody's butt. And I was like, okay. So what that led me to believe was these coaches, and there's probably quite a few of them sitting in here, they think ahead. So the athletes today, you know, your coaches are probably pushing you guys and trying to get you to get in the right direction. They're thinking ahead. They're thinking about you. They want you to do good. So keep that in mind. The coaches are there to help you, and I appreciated everything that we had in Borup. We didn't have a whole lot, pretty small. They had 3 sports, basketball, football, and track. So choices weren't there. I just did them all just to stay in shape for the next one. So, but anyways, there was some athletes in Borup. Ralph Kappas, Steve Hoven, all the Kappas clan, Barry, Kim, Kelly, my brother Mark, my younger brother Lee, many more. We were so darn small, we were just about all like family. So I want to thank those people because they pushed, everybody pushed everybody because we were like family, we were so small. In closing, I guess I want to say just thank you for the nomination and appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Please welcome Mark Kessler.
Well, I didn't get the memo that there was a speech involved in this. I don't know if you did either. Nope. Okay, well, you're next, buddy. So we're going to just have to wing it, I guess. I'm very honored and humbled to receive this award. It is not the intent of you to think this way when you're in the moment, when you're doing your event or your sport, swinging or hitting or running or jumping. You're just doing it because that's what you do. It's fun. It's part of being with your friends. I had some great memories of bus rides and practices. Those are the times that athletes remember. It's the camaraderie. I was given a pretty intense work ethic. I guess if anybody knows my father, it was effort and dedication and work ethic were hugely important. And I think I developed that too. I remember times of, why you push yourself to be better. I remember running sprints in the alley behind my house in the 100-degree weather between my junior and senior year. And at some point, I just stopped and go, why am I doing this? And you just kind of answer your own question and turn around and run another one. It's I don't know. I'm I'm reminded of a scene in a movie, Field of Dreams, one of the best movies you can watch if you ever watch Field of Dreams. And it goes back to the fact, or the part about not thinking about the reward or what other people see. And at the end, Doc walks across the line and gives up his chance to go back and play with the guys every year. And as he's walking into the cornfield, Shoeless Joe turns to him and yells at him, "Hey, you were good." And it's kind of an affirmation that somebody else was watching and somebody else valued what you did. And you don't think of that when you're in the moment, but I sure appreciate it now, and I'm honored and humbled to get this award, and I'd like to thank those responsible. So, thank you.
Thank you and congratulations again, Mark Kessler. Well, I guess the word's out that the next inductee will also have a long speech of preparation, so please welcome Kevin Benish.
Well, obviously, one person and I have a different description of what long might be, but that's okay. This is really such an honor. I want to thank the committee, and I don't know how my name got in the hat, but thank you. It's a great honor. I'm very fortunate. Thank you for my siblings being here. I do want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, I wouldn't be standing here, obviously, and I think when our pictures got on the front of the index, probably my old teachers probably thought they finally arrested Kevin. Man, we knew it was going to happen, we just didn't know when. So this is his mugshot. But anyway, I do want to share a very short story. Not many people know this. When I was the old elementary school, which none of you girls know what that is, but sitting in the spring one year, 6th grade science class, I decided that I was going to spend the summer playing golf because I wanted to play on the varsity golf team as a 7th grader. Okay, I have no idea where that came from. My brother and our good friend Tom Pollard had started playing golf, and I just said, I think I might have told Bruce, I'm going to play this summer. I want to make the team. And, well, I was extremely fortunate where I did make the travel squad. I got to play in all the tournaments. I lettered as a 7th grader. And then, just kind of improved, from year to year, from shooting in the mid-90s every day, to shooting in the mid-80s, to shooting in the mid-70s, to shooting in the low 70s, and winning the state championship. Everything, just kind of fell in place. I couldn't have done it, obviously, without the support of this high school and Coach Bob Erickson, great Christian man, love him to death. Going to see him again one day. But without him and our administration, Wes Kessler, none of this would have happened. No different than with the girls and winning and going undefeated. I mean, we've got such support here. It's just incredible, off the charts. So anyway, but after that, crazy decision, the epiphany, whatever you want to call it, as a 6th grader, it just changed my life. Everything where I'm at, what I do, was because I won this state championship, where I got to go to college, play golf at TCU in Fort Worth, Texas, and live in Fort Worth, great city. only second, to what I think, where we're standing in this city right now, put it that way. So I just would like to say, that to the administration and the people here in Ada that, just keep up the great work, because what you're doing here is obviously changing lives. So, thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Kevin Benish. Mr. W., Paul Walswick, could I ask you to please come forward again and be a part of our presentation for the next inductee into the class of 2023 Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame. I'd like to, along with Mr. Walswick, to assist with the presentation. Welcome to the stage the 1984 Norman County West football team. What I'm doing is I'm looking to see if I have a list of team members. I do not. Are you speaking? Yes. Okay. Congratulations to all of you, and welcome to all of you. I believe the gentleman that's speaking today is Greg Warnicki from the coaching staff. Greg, if I can, with my personal welcome to you. Greg Warnicki, Norman County West, hosted the Audubon Zephyrs, coached by Ken Helland. That was my first Minnesota football broadcast in October 2nd of 1987. It would be a few weeks later that Mr. Warnicki was going to do his homework and do scouting for the football team, of course, after these guys had won, but he was still now at the helm. And they were playing in Ulen. And what he forgot to do was to inform his wife, Patty, that he needed a ride back to Halstead or somewhere because he was not going on the bus. So here he is, then coming back after a post-game interview to the press box and asking this young broadcaster, "Where are you going tonight?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going back to Ada to broadcast the Ada-Borup football game. I need to get going right away." "Why?" He said, "Well, can you at least give me a ride back to Ada? I'll be closer to where I need to be, and then I'll find my wife, and she can pick me up, and I can get to where I need to go tonight." So welcome, Greg Warnicki.
Yes, that did happen. So I'm here tonight to speak. Dan Machenbacher was the head coach, and he couldn't be here tonight. So I luckily got the next spot. This group of players was exceptional. I was started in '82, came in as student teaching, and went to football practice, and the coach didn't know I was coming. So it started a little shaky, but it worked out well. I got to work with these guys. And when we were lucky enough to have 3 good, solid groups of years coming in, and it worked out for it in 1984, where we had a great sophomore group, junior group, senior group. And when you look back, think back, because it was 39 years ago on there. That was one of the, greatest times of my life, being on the Metrodome floor, getting to play in a playoff game there. We were there in '83, and we were awestruck when we get out there and on the floor, and you're hearing the music bouncing off the turf, how hot it was down on the turf. And then when we got there the next year, we knew exactly what it was going to be like. It was all business. We went to work. We played as a team. It was so tight-knit that especially they played well together. It was beyond teamwork. It was such an honor to be with these guys. And when you look back at history and what they did, we played Silver Lake. They beat us the year before in '83. '84, we came and played them again in the Dome. They didn't have a first down until the 4th quarter. So these guys, you can't say anything more. They're just great guys. I love them. So, but I'm going to turn it over to 2 of the captains, because they're a much better speaker than I am. And so, Brian, you want to come up?
Well, thank you. And thank you for Ada-Borup-West for recognizing us. A couple of weeks ago, I got a call from Mr. Walswick, and he was telling me about the induction, and it got me to remember that year and this team. And like Coach Warnicki said, we just come off of a loss, but we were in the state championship. We had no idea what we were going to have the next year. We lost so many great athletes from that '83 team. But we had a few seniors, including, Darren Lowe, Scott Jetvig, Richard Henney, and others that were coming back. And we had some really, really good sophomores coming up. And they're up here today that we just didn't know what we were going to have. And then Richard Henney convinced Micah Tornson to come out of retirement, and that's what put us over the top. No, he did come out of retirement though. And as I think about that year and that team, it was not only that we had this group of juniors and seniors coming up, these sophomores starting to develop, but we had a really good coaching staff as well. I don't think a lot of people know this. This was 39 years ago. We're going back into the championship game, and we're going to play a team that has just won 25 games in a row. They have run over everybody, including us, the year before. Our coaches changed our whole defensive system going into this game. Who does that? We got a state semifinal. We were runners up. And now we're back in the championship, but they changed it. As Coach Warnicki said, they don't get a first down until the 4th quarter. It was incredible. So it was a good group of kids, great coaching, and it was a great community as well. I remember Friday mornings, you'd get up, there were cars already being parked around the football field for people so they could watch from their cars. Leading up to during the week, that's all people talked about, was what was going to happen on Friday's game. And Saturday morning, we were talking about the win and those 2 bad losses, but mostly we were talking about those wins. And for those of you who ever took trigonometry at Norman County West, you knew that's what we were going to talk about all morning. So I just want to thank Ada-Borup-West for recognizing a great team, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Scott Jetvig. I'm living currently in Hawley, and I was one of the tri-captains of the team. And what they say is true. We did change our defense to play that game. I was middle linebacker all year long, and I was just like, yeah, you know, the glory position. And then I had to give it up to Mike. They put me on the line, and they said, yeah, you're sitting here, you're going across that person, and whatever way that Mike taps you, you go the other way. He's going that way. And we did, and it was all because of what the coaches came up with, and we had a great time. But it was a really surprise when I got a call, and somebody wanted to talk about our team that happened 39 years ago, and just like ancient history, and like, well, that's a lot of fun that somebody wants to try and remember us again, and I appreciate that. I'd like to say hi to my wife, Christy, and my two daughters, Ashley and Emily, who is here tonight. My wife, who was also a state golfer back then. Cute story about her is that we had to make a team for her in order to her participate, because she was on the boys team on 8th grade. And then coming back in the sophomore year, they found 3 other girls to come play golf with her, so that she could have a team and participate and go to state. But I want to say thank you for this honor of being here, and appreciate it.
Congratulations. Thank you. The 1984 Norman County West football team. Next, please welcome Ruth Hayden to the stage. Ruth Hayden, the head coach of the 2008 Ada-Borup girls volleyball team, into the Ada-Borup-West class of 2023 Hall of Fame.
Good, I have 2 captains, so they can do a little bit of the talking too. Okay. Once you get your plaque. I have Laura Colness here. I have Katie Ness here. I have Jody Baker, and I have Corinne Gunderson. And I'd just like to mention we had Allie Kappas, we had Haley Lindell, Taylor Kiava, Katie Colness, Nicole Smart, Erica Myers, Haley Wilkins, Tiffany Strand, and Nina Lofgren. And I know these kids would have tried to have been here. There's some that are way out of state. There's some that are coaching. There was some that had weddings. Some were running with their kids to events today. It's busy. It's really busy. And I think school here and the community and what Ada-Borup-West schools have done for these kids, I'm just really proud, really proud. And congratulations to all the inductees. I can honestly say that team of 84, I think you tested me pretty good. I can remember student teaching over there in '79, and if I could survive that, I knew I could survive teaching. So good job to you guys, and congratulations. Terry Babler, I think I was probably 15 years old at the same track meet, And you talked about back-to-back races. I ran the 440 and the 880, and there was like one race in between. And my coach kind of said the exact same thing. We're going to change some things. So I hear you, and I felt for you too. But it's kind of a small world when you start talking about the small communities, and there's just great things that really happen, but it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. This team here was really a special team, 32-2, and those losses was to Osseo in the Moorhead tournament. That was the best finish that we ever had in that Moorhead tournament, and we were always playing 3A class schools. And of course, they see little Ada-Borup coming, and it was like, But boy, we proved ourselves, and that really made us better for the sections and obviously for the state tournament. And our other loss was to Bethlehem Academy. We went 5 with them in the state tournament. Obviously, if you know anything about volleyball, they're there year after year after year. But we put up a fight. We put up a great fight. And if I could go through all the memories and the moments, the list is just way, way too long. There was a lot of good times. There were tears. There was happiness. But these kids, they produced, and they did whatever I asked of them. And I'm sure there was days we worked extremely hard, but I can always remember, and I loved Fridays because we always have treat Fridays, and moms would bring in cookies, cakes, whatever, and we just kind of enjoyed. But these tournaments, the state tournament especially, was really, really a ride. And my coaching staff, I had Nikki Gullingsrud and Carrie Kramer. We had a lot of great stats people. We had a lot of support from the community and from our administration. It was good. It was just a great ride. And 2 of my captains are here today, so I'm going to go ahead and let Laura maybe say a few words, and then I'm going to put Katie up. They were never scared to speak.
Oh, geez. I was really bad at those post-game interviews, but thank you for the nomination and the induction into the Hall of Fame. I was actually really surprised that we got the induction. I wasn't expecting it. Although I looked back and I actually looked at our record on Max Preps. And I was like, oh yeah, we didn't lose that much. We only lost 2 games. But it was fun. I just had a blast with these girls. Some girls weren't in like the basketball. So it's really fun when you play with different girls in different sports. And volleyball was just so much fun. And yeah, I remember Treat Friday, so that was my favorite day. I do have one story about Ruth and how she... Yeah, this is your fault. She made me stay after practice or come early because I really sucked at defense. And she would just wail balls at me left and right. And I swear one day I had tears and she's like, we're gonna keep going. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just, yeah. Do you remember that? I do. Okay, good. Oh, that's when you heard it, huh? That's how bad it was. But thank you to everybody. And who's next? Corinne's next.
I also didn't prepare anything, but I think a very similar sentiment to what's been said before is, you know, we get out every single practicing game, and this is never the end game for us when we're in that moment, getting a nomination or getting into the Hall of Fame. Like, we're literally going out there with our best friends, performing to the best of our capabilities at that point in time. working with each other, getting ourselves better than the day that we were before. And so this is just icing on the cake, something that none of us expected, but we're so grateful for. And I just want to say thank you to Ruth and Nikki, who's not here. I mean, Nikki has been a huge support system for all of the girls in this room for so many years. And I truly believe that the coaches that we have here have been so instrumental on and off the court in helping us build like the relationships that we have throughout the years. So thank you.
Well, I'm used to speaking in front of like 7 and 8 year olds. I'm a second grade teacher, so when you get a little bit bigger, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking here. I think you guys nailed it, though. I think just recognizing your teammates and they're your friends. My dad always said, "Don't do it if you're not going to have fun." And I think 2015 girls, you guys can vouch for that also. If you're not going to have fun while you're doing it, it's no fun doing it. So. I thought we did a great job doing that, but I think our coaches helped lead that as well. And the support from our families and our parents and stuff is something you can't take away from that. So thank you for that. So thanks.
Again, thank you for putting this team. It's really the team that needs this recognition. And we always talked about how teamwork equals success. And it's so great to hear these kids when they come back, and anybody out here that I have visited with, and the success that you've had in your life, the hard work, your families, and just the support as becoming parents and treating your kids well too. So again, thanks to everybody, thanks to the small communities. I really think we do a lot of good things right out here, and I hope we continue. And thanks again to the board, and good job, the team of 208.
Thank you, Ruth, and players. 2008 Ada-Borup girls volleyball team. If I can add one thing that comes to my mind immediately about that team is the word dominant. They were dominant. And to this broadcaster's eyes, in the upper left-hand corner of my stat sheets, I would write down a number. The number, I can say this now at my stage of my career. I wrote down the number as to my guess as to how many minutes the match would last. And many, many nights, my pregame show and postgame show combined were longer than the match was. That's how dominant they were. I learned and I appreciated to respect that. And you talk about the support that's been mentioned by others as well of this community. Let's all just think back in a memory, at least that I have as well. That semifinal game against Faribault BA. It was the same afternoon that the football team was playing in Duluth that night. And the support that was there, Ross and the Index, people are going to be at both places for the story and for the photos. Radio was going to be at both places and was. I listened to the volleyball match while I was driving to Duluth to do the football game that night. And the community and the fans that said, we're going to the volleyball game and then we're driving from St. Paul at whatever speed we need to do to get to Duluth to cheer on the football team. And we're coming back the next morning because these girls will again get back and they will win and they will bring home the third place trophy. That was support. That is support. Thanks to all of you for those memories. Next, please welcome head coach Dave Smart to the stage for the induction into the class of 2023 Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame, the 2015 Ada-Borup undefeated girls basketball team.
Come on up, girls. So before we get to them, a couple things. Snookie, I can relate. Came from Hendrum. Ada, Ada, we could always tell they had nose hair because their noses are always so far up in the air. So, yeah, see, you non-natives, you know what I'm talking about. So Snookie, I can relate. But Ada, I've been here 30 plus years now. It's kind of grown on me. Also, Terry, where's Terry? Okay, I saw Terry last night. Didn't recognize him right away until he turned around. Recognized him perfectly because I watched his behind for 4 years running hurdles. So it's like, oh, Terry, yeah. So that was, that's as close as I came to making it state was watching Terry. So anyway, on to our girls. I want to make sure that you know who they all are here. Haley Poehler at the end. Tiana Hildy, I'm using your maiden names because if you're married, I might not remember what it is. Lexi Nelson next to her. Emma Crashus. Morgan Miller. Girls, you could actually, put your hand up so they know who you are. Mickey Lee. That's the one I do always say Hennon now. Elizabeth Berkmeyer. Lexi Merkins. And Brooke Rupke. So we had a great turnout. I listened this morning to Haley and Lexi's interview. Lexi, I have to correct something. Lexi said, what game was it, Lexi? Yeah, Lyle Austin. She said, I finally got in the game after I got benched for 10 minutes for missing a layup. Let me correct that. Sir Haxalot was on the bench because she fouls so much. She happened to forget that part. She probably did miss a layup in there, but God, if I bench Lexi every time she missed a layup, yeah. So, selective memory. We all have that. Morgan, on the other hand, still has nightmares about the Lyle Austin game. And then, of course, right before we came in here, the highlight video is running on a loop, and that last play of the Lyle Austin game came up. Morgan's walking in, she's going, I still got anxiety about that. It's okay, Morgan. Every time I've watched it, she shot an air ball. So it worked out pretty good. So 2015, great team. But I have to agree with Lexi and Haley when they were being interviewed. It's like, did you expect to go through the season undefeated? No. I didn't either. We had no idea what to expect team-wise. We had a very solid senior class the year before. So it wasn't something that, we had set our sights on at the beginning of the season. We're going to go undefeated. We're going to do this. We really were working on getting better. This summer, we went through some times we were not very good. But like the girls said, once we were able to put in a little time and correct some things, it went a lot better. So, but these girls never played like that their goal was to go 30-2-0. They just played, like Katie said, to have fun. And man, it makes a big difference. They put in a lot of off-season time. Yes, Lexi, I know you don't like to get up early. She said that on the radio too. It's like, not exactly thrilled to get up every morning at 6:30, but I did. And thank God Jay took her in on a shooting camp. Are you here, Jay, somewhere? There he is. Yeah, Jay's. Have you seen him? Yeah, I know. Let him live a dream, would you? Jeez, quit being so hard on the guy. But we had a lot of girls put in a lot of time. No question about that. And they removed a lot of doubts as to how we were going to do early on in the season. They really came together. They seemed to love playing together. Everyone worked hard to outdo what they did the previous game, and it was just a great time. We played our first game at the XL. Can't say I'm a big fan of the XL, but the fact that we did win a game there makes it a lot better. And then we got to end at Williams Arena, which I was talking to Jimmy and Paul Thompson and talking about how great Williams Arena is as far as like the whole atmosphere. Just a blast. I mean, even the guys in the fatty suits, right? Like, yeah. I keep going back to the interview because Lexi was talking about she had a crucial free throws, and she said all he could see was the three guys in the fatty suits shaking their butts at her. They were with us. They were our fans. So she's going, not now, guys, not now. But they went in, so it all worked out. And then we ended with MCA, and I was listening to some of the coaches talking, or some of the players talking about how, coaches tried to keep them loose. Oh, speaking of Amy, where the heck is Amy? Why aren't you up here? No, I'm good. Get up here. Amy Johnson, our assistant coach, who refuses to come up. Get up here. She's not very good at following directions. Eric Smart also was the other one. And since this is going on YouTube, I cannot not take advantage of the opportunity to get in to dig to Chris Kuyava just in case he watches it. Chris was one of our volunteer assistants up until 2014. And then he left and we won a state championship. And he said all he wanted to do was he just wanted to win a state championship. So we always told him, thank God you left, and we finally got to win a state championship. Anyway, where was I? MCA. Oh yeah, MCA. So, we were talking about how, loosen up the players, that type of thing. Well, we decided to take the approach, let's make fun of the other team's coaches. They came out dressed in suits and ties and everything, very nice. I mean, we didn't have a problem with that. But then at halftime, since they were down by, 14 or something, they changed. And then they came out with polos and sweats and tennis shoes. And so we had a little fun with that with the players. And talked about, our ability to overcome the coach's wardrobe change was critical in our success. So that was a fun story we'd share afterwards. Thank God we won, or we wouldn't be sharing the story quite as often. Trying to think of anything. Oh, Ruth made me think. Bethlehem Academy. I remember that game. Football team. We played in. Mark, when did we play? That night? Yeah, so we played in Duluth that night. We came to the volleyball game. So we took the bus, the football bus, we took to the Bethlehem Academy game. You talk about the kids supporting each other. Back in, that would have been 08, our kids did a great job of supporting each other. So I had to get that in there before I forgot. All right, MCA game. So private school. I don't know how some of you probably don't know me very well, but we're not a big fan of private schools here. They seem to play they have a different playing field. And just a quick story, after we beat Springfield's best player, really good sophomore, scored like 23 points against us. She was difficult to stop. After that game, MCA coaches, the team we played in the championship, came and talked to that kid and asked her about coming to MCA. It's like, oh God, their coach was so livid. Fortunately for him, he had broken his leg, so he couldn't move very fast, because I think he might have got himself in trouble. But that's what private schools get away with. So yeah, we're not big fans of private schools. So we took extra special pleasure in beating a private school, especially when they were averaging 87 points a game, and we were not going to be able to run with them. We weren't going to be able to handle their pressure, little things like that. And they said this stuff in the paper. So, nothing better, coaches know nothing better than bulletin board materials. So we definitely use that. Not that we were planning on running with them, because we thought that would be suicide too, but we ended up doing it. And we ended up having 3 girls that ended up with double doubles. And I think in a championship game, that's got to be some kind of record. So we ended up beating them at their own game. And it might have been more by accident than anything, but like we said all year long, we're not going to apologize for winning. and it was a great way to end. Even though, Lexi, you want to tell them or should I? Even though Lexi woke up that morning saying, I don't want to play another game. Can we just forfeit and go 31-1? That's not a bad record. God, thank God I didn't know that day. Told Lexi she might have never went to the bathroom the same if I had found out that the way. So, as it turned out, Lexi, you ended up with a double-double, did you not? Yeah, good choice of playing. So, it was a lot of fun. And these kids are a blast. I've had so much fun with the basketball kids over the years, and it's great when they can come back and we can reminisce and laugh about some of the stuff, and I can find out some stuff that I had no clue was going on. Like, I want to forfeit the last game of the championship. Anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh, one thing, Kevin Benish, you're bragging about scoring in the 70s or 80s. Man, I can do that in 3 holes, so I don't know what the big deal is. All right, thought I'd get that one in. Anyway, thank you very much. You guys, the committee, everyone else that made it, congratulations. You're all very deserving. We go through a lot of applications and talk about the pros and the cons. And man, there's so many pros with you guys. You represent Ada-Borup-West, our communities, so well. And we appreciate when you all come back because it's so fun.
Since we're on YouTube, or they're on YouTube, could we have the football players introduce themselves?
Well, I don't know. Football players? I bet they could if you really wanted them to. Guys, one more time, curtain call. Jimmy Thompson, lead the way, buddy, come on. Wait a minute, is your live event going to be able to get that? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, hey, Jimmy, they want you up here, bud, sorry. I'm going to say goodbye for 2015. No, we'll get the 84 team up here to introduce themselves. Girls, you did a good job.
Hello, I'm Brian Rude.
Scott Jetvig.
Mike Godormson.
Roy Noel. Jim Thompson. Brett Storsfed.
Jeremy Melting.
Dave Christensen.
Kelly Christensen.
Paul Walswick, Mr. W.
Greg Warnicki.
Thank you. Congratulations again to the 2015 Ada-Borup girls basketball team. Certainly was a fun year, truly was. Some things that were mentioned, and then there are things that were not mentioned by Coach Smart. I look around and I obviously see family here and see friends and community members and parents of the team. I think I'm speaking, I hope I'm speaking for everybody that was a parent on that team. That was a year that was truly, truly fun. The parent card parties, the parental ownership of every hotel that we went to that summer. Coach Smart had talked about Jay and the three-point coaching that he did for Lexi. That first month of the year, that was lights out three-point shooting. I remember that as the broadcaster. That was because of Jay teaching you in the driveway. That was the storyline, right, Jay? But then people talk about the championship and undefeated 32-0 on that Saturday afternoon. No, that was like second fiddle to really the celebration. That was Milt Lee's birthday. That's what we were celebrating. And then who can forget another senior parent? Most of you know the man, Tim Poehler. He corrected every officiating crew all year that year. Great times, great memories. Again, congratulations to all who have entered into the Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame. Also, a reminder again that there are refreshments being served afterwards. I hope that you can spend some time and visit, share more memories, share more stories. I know I'm filled with memories and stories, and great to hear from those of you that I did not know until this opportunity to see you, to hear you into the induction into the Ada-Borup-West Hall of Fame. Nominations are being accepted now for the class of 2024. Please reach out to committee members and to Kenley Wallin at the Ada-Borup-West School to begin the process. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Congratulations again. Enjoy the day. Thank you.